So now it's over, or so we think. The 2020 election is over. The the race has been called in favor of Joe Biden, which okay, um, really a tough choice between two candidates, as I've kind of stated in the past, and those that know me and those that have had conversations with me about this particular election and these particular candidates know that I don't think that Joe is mentally capable. Um, God love him in his service to this country, and maybe God love him not for his service to this country. It was 40 plus years in public service, but as an elderly gentleman, he does not and no longer has his wits about him. Um, but the alternative was Donald Trump, and Donald Trump didn't make it easy. Did not certainly make it easy for conservatives like me. And I want to get this straight, that I am a conservative, a fiscally conscious conservative. I don't really like to get too far into the weeds of politics. I don't like being called a Republican. I know that it's common out there for those in a party opposing party viewpoints to assimilate a party with a regular everyday citizen. I'm a regular everyday citizen. I'm an employee of a company. I pay taxes. I vote. I'm not a Republican. I do not run, nor do I hold an office as a Republican, so I do not like being called a Republican. I am a fiscally conscious conservative, but I am more of a John Kasich conservative than anything. And so people like me, those that are conservatives, I didn't support Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he's not a Republican either. I mean, you got to be human first, and it's all been a bunch of parlor tricks. It's been 4 years of parlor tricks. Donald Trump won on the premise that he was running against probably the worst candidate for president in American history, in Hillary Clinton, which I can hit on and get to a little more here. But when your whole basis is to segregate and separate and polarize with your rhetoric on Twitter, in speech, there's nothing to support. There's really nothing to get behind. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to get behind. So I was never a Donald Trump supporter, nor am I a Joe Biden supporter. Am I relieved that this is over? Not really, because now Trump is tying it up in the courts. Is there election fraud? Isn't there election fraud? There's probably election fraud every election, to be honest with you. Is this more than usual, less than usual? I don't know. That's not really my forte. But he didn't make it easy. The guy didn't make it easy at all. And so the fact that he lost, and the fact that I don't have to hear from him anymore, I kind of like that. I think a lot of Americans kind of like that. Although now your leader, and I don't put much stock into who's the leader, but your leader is somebody that doesn't really know what's going on, in my opinion. I might get some negative feedback for that comment, but I don't consider him a guy that understands what's really going on. If you watch him speak and listen to him speak. But let's not lose sight of the fact that why was Donald Trump here in the first place? Because the alternative was Hillary Clinton, and I think that the American public, at least half of the American voting public, understood that Hillary essentially stole the Democratic nomination from Bernie Sanders, a man who deserved it. Whether you think he's a socialist or not, whether you agree with his policies or not, he's stood behind literally everything, backed up literally everything that he stands for in his entire career. So as far as a human being with credibility goes, he is it, and he would have won in 2016, and instead, the Democrats cooked the books for Hillary and handed it to her, and I don't think America reacted favorably to that. And in response to electing Donald Trump, I believe that those that were on Hillary's side, and the expectation was that Hillary would beat Donald Trump in a landslide, and when she didn't, people came unglued. And it's been 4 years of unglued. Granted, in response to 4 years of Unglued, Donald Trump has been awful on Twitter, on camera. The media has done everything they can to display all of his negative features. But literally all you have to do is bring people together. All you have to do is leave an underlying message of unity, leadership, not attack people, not separate or segregate people. And instead, he's polarized a 10% of zealots that it really rings true to. And unfortunately, it brings the rest of the conservatives down. And I hope that that no longer continues. I hope that that is something that we can get away from in the future. I don't look at liberals as if they're Democrats. If you're an everyday citizen and you have liberal values, you don't run for a political office and you don't hold a political office, you're not a Democrat to me. Don't call me a Republican, I won't call you a Democrat. Let's just be Americans.